Welcome to the Penguin Rundown. I'm Zach Humphreys.
And I'm Pat Andrews.
Glad to have you with us here inside the coach's court, inside the Beeghly Center. We'll take it to the highlights now for football. They were 1-1. They tried to make it 2-1 on the early season. Here it is. We'll pick it up in the first quarter. No score yet. Check that. Jermaine Cook's going to get the ball here. He will take it all the way down the sideline. Nobody even touched him. YSU had an early 7-0 lead. Here in the second with the score 7-7 now. Here's a good idea. Give it to the same kid. Jermaine Cook touches it this time. He'll go up the middle. He's touched a few times here, but it didn't matter. Shakes off a couple defenders, turns on the Jets, and he trickles into the end zone. Almost tripped up right there, kept his feet. That made it 14-7. At the half, the score was YSU 35, CCSU 14. Here in the third with a score 35-17, they give it to Cook once again. This 23-yard touchdown made it 42-17. Penguins were starting to run away with it. Here in the fourth quarter with a score 56-24, Denzel Jones, CCSU's quarterback, was sacked by Daniel Stewart. Jamie Frazier picks it up. He will scoop and score. He's all pumped up. And the Penguins went on to win it 63-24. That tied for the most points ever in YSU history. Kurt Hess was 15 of 20 for 191. Did throw one pick. Jermaine Cook, how about this? 14 carries, 183 yards, and 3 touchdowns. That's a coming out party right there. We'll take it to Eric Wolford for the press conference.
You just talk about the offense, especially the second half, just kind of taking off.
You know, we talked about at halftime, this being a team that has come from behind in the past, and that was my biggest fear. You know, we're going to come out in the second half, be ready to play. And obviously, we stumbled around there a little bit initially, but we got dialed in. It was important for the defense to get that 3 and out and come out and make a statement for us. And hopefully we'll continue to play 2 halves of football.
Coach, you had 300 total yards of rushing attack and 8 touchdowns. I mean, how encouraging is that you got everybody involved and those guys were really handling the offense well?
You know, it's obviously a compliment to our offensive coaching staff. Coach Montgomery obviously called a good football game. That's a compliment to all of our offensive coaches. We have a great staff here, and I think the players realize that when they listen and they do exactly what they're instructed to do, they'll have an opportunity to be successful, and that's what
Penguins volleyball team in action 3 times this past week. First being last Tuesday when Kent State came to the Beeghly Center to take on the Penguins. Let's go to the highlights. Kent State coming into the Beeghly Center. Here we'll see Danny Soublier, usually a setter, but she's a killer right here. Giving the Penguins early in set number 1. Hundelt right there with the big kill. Kent State unable to return. There's Hundelt again getting involved in the action with a block. There you see Kapfer getting a kill of her own. Here's a couple nice plays by Jenna Cavanaugh. There's a block from Cavanaugh right here, and then she comes right back with a kill, keeping the Penguins alive in this match. However, Kent State too strong, as you see the block there on Kapfer. Kent State too strong in the end. They're going to take this one 3-1 over the Penguins, winning 25-18, 16-25, 23-25, 19-25. Hundelt led the way for the Penguins with 13 kills. Kapfer added 8 of her own. Reed pitching in for 9. Soublier with 6 kills and 38 assists for the Penguins.
And moving further into the weekend, September 17th, they were in Chicago, Illinois. Youngstown State couldn't handle it. They lost 3-0, 25-19, 25-19, 25-14 were the numbers. Haley Kapfer came in and got 6 kills for the Gwins. Good for a team high. Marissa Hundelt added 5, along with Cavanaugh, and Brittany McNeil had 7 digs. And moving further on into the weekend, Youngstown State lost to Northern Illinois, 25-21, 25-15, 25-18 were the numbers. Tasha Reed had 9 kills, which was the team high. And Brittany Grove got into the action, 286 attack percentage, also good for a team high for the Penguins.
Women's soccer in action this past weekend with a little 2-game road trip. Don't have any highlights for you from the action, but we do have a couple box scores for you. You can see here, Oakland taking it to the Penguins 6-1 was your final. Lauren Brennan with the lone goal for the Penguins in the 39th minute. Klein, as you can see, added 4 saves for the Penguins. This dropped the Penguins to 2-6 overall. This past Sunday in Ann Arbor, the Penguins took on the Wolverines of Michigan, gave up quite a fight. Nicole Klein with 10 saves, a season high for the Penguins. However, not able to put the ball in the back of the net as they do fall 1-0 to the Wolverines.
Youngstown State cross country team was in action at the Iona Meet of Champions tournament. Samantha Hamilton ran the 6K in 23 minutes and 35 seconds. Joe Coplow ran the 8K in 26 minutes, 57 seconds for the Penguins.
Men's tennis in action this past weekend at the Louisville Invitational, where Tariq Ismail won the Flight A consolation bracket to highlight a successful weekend for the Penguins. And now let's take a look at a week ahead for Youngstown State. You can see September 21st, the volleyball team will be at Eastern Michigan at 7 p.m. This coming Friday, both soccer and volleyball at home. Soccer will take on Milwaukee at 7 p.m. at Stambaugh. Volleyball will be in Beeghly, taking on Green Bay at 7 p.m. as well. Saturday, volleyball right back at it against Milwaukee at 2 p.m. and football at 4 p.m. Conference opener against Southern Illinois.
Moving further into the weekend, soccer versus Green Bay, September 26th. That's a 12 o'clock start. That's noon. September 27th, women's golf will be at the Ball State Invitational. On that same date, men's golf will go to the John Piper Invitational. Remember to follow YSU Athletics on the web, ysusports.com, or of course, you can go to Facebook or Twitter as well. And that'll do it for us. We'll see you next week on the Penguin Rundown.